Let's take a look at how styles in Claude Desktop can help you provide more context to the large language model when you're talking to your data. You can see in the input box here, I have a data explorer. That's a custom created style that I've added. So when I put in a question, it behaves in a way that's going to give me better results. So it already knows from the style that it has access to this Rill MCP server, so I don't have to prompt it to use a tool. It will just more reliably know that it's got Rill that it can go and collect data from. I've asked it about a metric, and I've asked it about the pharmaceuticals vertical. There isn't actually a field in the metrics view labeling the industry type of the different advertisers. So we are probably going to have to speed this up for the purposes of time. It's going to have to go through the process of I have metrics and I have advertiser names, and what it's going to do, I hope, is take advantage of the fact that the large language model has been trained essentially on the internet. So it's going to be able to classify those advertiser names. So we're using a few different techniques here essentially to get more out of our data than just having it sitting in a database. We've got a metrics layer that is defining the metrics available and giving the model some context on what to query. We're using the style to give it some instructions that we'll look at in a second for how that works. And we're just taking advantage of the capabilities of the language model to enrich the data that we're able to get from the semantic layer. So we can guarantee the accuracy of the numbers. So we're just getting the video completion rate coming back here. The metrics layer is going to make sure that the numbers are accurate, but we can still take advantage of some of the things that a large language model can do to do even more with our data than just the numbers. And there's a few nice things going on here. So it's done the analysis. It's figured out Johnson & Johnson, Epizyme, GlaxoSmithKline. So it's identified pharmaceutical companies in the data. And notice the really nice fast visualization that's shown up. You will find if you leave the large language model to do its own thing, as it were, it might build an entire React app to visualize your data, which is cool, but it's also slow. So I've taught it how to just do a simple bar chart, just using text characters. So it's super fast. And the other thing that I'm pleased it's decided to do, I've asked it in the style to construct a URL. So I've taught it how an Explorer link is constructed in Rill. So it's taken that lesson, if you like, it's run its queries and then turned that analysis into a link. So when I want to look at these performers and the completion rate metric that I asked it to look at, if I click on the link, it's just asking for permission. There you go. So there is the video completion rate metric. A couple of other video related metrics are in here for a bit of additional context. It's picked out the pharmaceutical companies from the advertiser name. And by doing this, I have the confidence, if you like, that this is accurate data. Let's look at how that is configured. So if I switch back to Claude, if I look at the bottom here where we have the search and tools, we have styles. So use style, I'm currently using the Data Explorer. I have a little list of styles here. A few of these are by default and some are the ones I'm creating. So you can create as many as you like. And we're going to look at the Data Explorer. The way the styles are kind of intended to use by default is that it's more of a writing style summary. You know, you give data insights with precise and technical language. So that is a writing style. But you can manually edit the styles and manually create the styles as well. So if you look at what I've given it, it's more than just the style. It's a breakdown of some detailed things that I want it to be aware of. Now, this isn't the best interface for looking at it in, I found, so I'm going to open up my text editor, which is where I edited it, and then I pasted it in. So you can see it's actually quite a detailed set of instructions. So I'm saying you're a data analyst, you know, you're responding to questions of business users. I like concise language. I've given it the instruction about the Rill MCP server, so that guides it to use that tool instead of me sometimes having to prompt it directly. And LLMs can decide to keep on running query after query, which personally I find that's not the interaction I want. So I tell it, you can run up to 3 actual data queries in a row before, I want you to give me a summary and I can interact. So you can get the query, the metrics views back from the MCP server. You can find the time range. You can get the definitions of all the metrics. You can do that. You can take 10 steps if you like to do that, because that's all essential. But once you're actually querying data, just do it 3 times before you speak to me and get some context. I've given it 3 example URLs. So I've done a breakdown of the format. So it needs to be a markdown link, so I can see the name of the link, as it were, but have a URL behind it. I'm emphasizing the explore slugs, the names of the explorers. I'm giving it 3 examples and a description of each. And I find that is very reliable, not perfect, but very reliably giving me working explore links in the response. And finally, I taught it a little bit about how you can use text characters rather than building React apps and things like that to visualize your data. And I find that just speeds up the process incredibly. So I find it very useful to have, for instance, a bar chart or some kind of visualization of the data in the response, but I do want it to be fast. So if I go back to Claude, I don't want to make any changes. So this kind of view here, I find that super useful, but also I find it super fast, having taught Claude how to do those using text rather than having to build a web app. So it's a really powerful technique, I find. You go into search and tools, add in your own style. So create and edit, create a custom style, and you want to add writing examples so you can paste text content in. So use this as a way to get started. We'll publish our prompt, the one I've used. We'll make that available. We'll provide a link in the description. And of course, you can change that as much as you like to maybe tweak it to your own purposes. Maybe you want 5 queries. Maybe you only want 1 query. Experiment with different ways of using it. Share your style across the team, and from my experimentation so far, at least, you're going to get basically slightly better, faster, richer experience by giving Claude all of that context every time without you having to actually type it into the prompt. So give it a go. Let us know what you find out.